Raf, let's talk about the latest on the ground in Gaza. We understand Israel is planning to expand its assault on Rafah in the south. This is the last place that was designated to be a safe zone by the Israelis. What are we seeing there?
Right. So, Savannah, Rafah, all the way in the south of Gaza, right up against the Egyptian border. More than half the population of the Gaza Strip, well over 1 million people, are now crowded up against that border, and there is literally nowhere to run. The Egyptians have concertina wire. That border is totally sealed, and many of these people have fled the entire length of the Gaza Strip. They are from the north of Gaza, they fled to the middle, to the south, and now they are at the southernmost edge. But Israel's military is saying it will pursue Hamas into Rafah itself, trying to destroy those smuggling tunnels through which weapons have been shipped. I was in Gaza over the weekend, and I asked an Israeli commander, how can you possibly fight in a place where there are more than 1 million civilians without causing mass casualties? He said if the order came from Israel's political leadership to go into Rafah, they would do that. They would carry out that attack, but they would do what they could to limit civilian casualties. Guys.
So, Raf, where do things stand with the hostage ceasefire negotiations? We understand this proposed deal is dividing Israel's right-wing cabinet. What's the latest?
Yeah, that's right. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying that he will not agree to release thousands of Palestinian prisoners, some of whom are convicted of terrorism offenses, from Israeli jails, and that he will not end the war in Gaza as part of any agreement to free the hostages. He is under major pressure from the far right of his cabinet not to be seen to be making concessions to Hamas. From Hamas's perspective, they say they are still studying the framework of this proposal that was hammered out in Paris at a meeting of spy chiefs, including the CIA director. At this point, they are not saying yes or no to this deal, but they are saying prisoners need to be released on a large scale, and there does have to be an end to the war. Guys.
All right, Raf Sanchez. Raf, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.